Hey, good afternoon. My name is Scott Buetta from Untitled Real Estate, and I have a video today on some information that I received from a course I took I thought would be important to share with you folks, and has to do with the PSI, which are the folks that control the testing process for the real estate exam. And I received what would be the importance of each particular category in the exam. There are 11 portions to this, and I have to do it in a timed fashion, so I may be splitting it up into multiple videos. So what I have here is a percentage of what the test out of 100, the percentage of value of the particular category. So the property ownership, salesperson 8%, broker 10%. Okay. And the property ownership, and this is a good thing for us to work with, because I can have basically videos on each aspect of this. Real property versus personal property, we already did a video on that. Conveyances, conveying property, changing of property, personal property into attached. Land characteristics and legal description, types of legal description, meets and bounds and locks and blocks and government surveys. You have measuring structures, livable, rentable, and usable areas. Okay. Land measurement, acres, miles, feet, rods, mineral, air, and water rights, all the encumbrances and effects on property ownership, which are liens, easements and licenses, encroachments, other property encumbrances of title, types of ownership, which would be tenants in common, joint tenancy, common, interest ownership, which would be timeshare, condominium, co-op. Part of the type of ownership in severalty and sole ownership. You know, I always thought severalty. I got mixed up because severalty sounds like several. It's not. Just the opposite. Severalty, think single, sole ownership. You have life estate ownership, property ownership held in trust. That's only for the broker to know. Okay. And those are, again, under property ownership. Salesperson is 8%, broker is 10%. These are the things we have to understand in that category. Next category is only 5% of its importance. Okay. And has to do with the land use controls and regulation. 5% on the salesperson tab, 5% on the broker as well. Those include the government rights in land, property tax and special assessment, eminent domain, condemnation, that's cheat, government controls such as zoning and master plan, buildings codes, regulation of special land types such as flood zones and wetlands. Number 4, we have the regulation of environmental hazards, and they include the type of hazards, the abatement and mitigation processes, restrictions on contaminated property, Okay, these are all part of the government controls. Private controls being deed conditions and restrictions, convents, conditions and restrictions, homeowner association regulation. Okay. Okay, number 3, that's a kind of a short one there. Land use controls and regulations, 5% and 5%. Private controls, we already got that. So the next one is a 7%, and it has to do with valuation and market analysis. The salesperson is 7%, the broker is 7%, having to do with the appraisal, purchase and use of appraisal. And go to the top here. Valuation. General steps in appraisal process. Situations requiring appraisal by certified appraisers. Estimating value. Effects of economic principle and property characteristics. The sales or market comparison approach. The cost approach. The income analysis approach. C, we have the comparative market analysis, selecting comparables and adjusting comparables. Okay. And that pertained to the valuation and market analysis. Okay, that's 7%. Let's go back up here. So we went through all that. Number 4. You have the financing aspects, which have to do with salesmen. That's a 10%er. Okay, so far number 1, property ownership 8%, the land use controls 5%, the evaluation and market analysis 7%, and now we're talking about financing, and this is 10%. Okay. You'd think it would be a little bit more, but it's not. 10%. What we have is basic concepts and terminology. Points, LTV, PMI, interest, PI, TI. Financing instruments such as mortgages, promissory notes, the types of loans that are available. Conventional, FHA insured, VA guaranteed, USDA, amortized, adjustable rate, ARMs. We have bridge loans, owner financing, installment and land contracts. Okay, we have financing and lending process application through closing, financing and credit laws and rules, which include truth in lending, RESPA, equal credit opportunity, the TRID and CFPD, rules on financing and risky loan features, underwriting, including debt ratio, credit scoring, and credit history. Okay. So those have to do with the financing processes. Is 10%. Okay. And we go to the next one, which is 13% for salesperson, 11% for broker. Just going to go sneak back up here and just verify. The financing is 10% salesperson, 8% broker. Why the difference? I don't know. You would think everything financing wise, I guess the salesperson has to know it, have a little more stronger aspect in the financing than the broker. The general principles of agency, again, salesperson 13, broker 11. And we have agency and non-agency relationship, which includes types of agents and agencies, other brokerage relationships, non-agents, the transactional and facilitators, which are your non-agents. You have your agent duties to client. Again, your fiduciary responsibility, traditional agency duties, powers of attorney, and other regulation, delegations of authority. The creation of an agency and non-agency. Okay, go to the next page. And this here is under the general principles of agency. Agreement, disclosure, and conflict of interest. Agency and agency agreements. Those include key elements of different types of listing contracts. Also includes the key elements of buyer, brokerage, tenant, representation, contract. Number 2 is the disclosure when acting as principal or other conflict of interest. Okay. The responsibilities of an agent to a customer and third party, including disclosure, dishonesty or honesty, integrity, accounting for money. Okay. And again, this has to do with the general principles of agency. 13% power on the questions. 13% of the test will relate to this particular category. And to move on, responsibilities of agent to a customer and third parties, including disclosure, honesty, integrity, accounting for money. We already talked about that. Termination of agency, the expiration, completion and performance, termination by force of law, destruction of property, death of principal, and mutual agreement. There's your termination of agency. Okay. All right, moving on here. We have number 6 is 6%. 6% salesperson, 7% broker. And we have the property disclosure. Property disclosure is the condition that may warrant inspection and survey, proposed uses or changes in uses that should trigger inquiry about public or private land use controls, environmental issues requiring disclosure, government disclosure requirements such as lead paint, the material facts and defect disclosure. Okay. That's 6% salesperson, 7% broker. The next is number 7. We have contracts. That's a good one. 17%. So again, what we will do is we're going to look at the higher percentages and work on those first. That's what I believe. The most important. Get those out of the way. And then reflect on those as we study the other components. So on this here, number 7, we have contracts. Salesperson 17, broker 18%. General knowledge of contract law. Requirements for validity. Factors affecting enforceability of contract. How they can be void or avoidable, unenforceable. Number 4 is rights and obligations of parties to a contract. Number 5 is executory and executed contracts. Executory and executed contracts. Little tongue twister there. Number 6 is notice, delivery, and acceptance of contract. Again, these contracts issues are very important. The termination, number 8, termination, rescission, and cancellation of contracts. Electronic signature and paperless transactions. Bilateral versus unilateral. Contract clauses is B. Contract clauses, including amendments and addenda. I think addendum, but it's addenda. Right? C. Offer and purchase agreements. Offer and purchase agreements include general requirements when an offer becomes binding, signatures and money, legality. Contingencies. Time is of the essence. Means there's always an end. Counter offers, multiple offers is D. Counter offers and multiple offers. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to sneak up to the top here. Okay, that was it for number 7. Number 8 is a light duty one. It's 3%, which has to do with leasing and property management. Now, one thing I don't know about all these, but I'll talk about these at the end, is do these percentages change in time? Do they make this one here at 3% all of a sudden 15%? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that the importance of each segment will remain, meaning they're putting importance on these for a reason, and I don't think they flip-flop on them. They want to make sure that you know contracts. That's why they're a high percentage. But we are going to start back up with number 8 here. As we're going to be going to an upload. Okay, so we're gonna end it here. We're going to start back with number 8 with leasing and property management.